Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm here today with a Nordic deck profile for you guys. This is a pretty fun combo-based deck. It centers around bringing out the Nordic God cards, which, if you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, you know what those are. They're pretty iconic. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, to start, I run 3 copies of the Nordic Beast Gullinbursty. So this is probably your best tuner in the entire deck. This card has the effect that for a synchro summon you can use it as any Nordic tuner, not just a Nordic Beast tuner. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a Nordic monster from your hand, and you can target one Nordic monster in your graveyard except Gullinbursty and add it to your hand. So that's 2 effects you get once per turn with this card, which is really powerful in this deck. And yeah, I really like having this card at 3 just because it's probably your best tuner in the whole deck. Next, I run 3 copies of Nordic Smith Evaldi. So this is a really good card. If you control an Aesir or Nordic monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Nordic relic from your deck to your hand. The new set, I guess it's not new anymore, but Battles of Chaos gave us some good Nordic relic cards that are searchable with this. It's pretty easy to bring out. So yeah, and it's a non-tuner at level 4, so you can combo with a Gullinbursty and another level 3 monster for a synchro summon, which is really nice. Next, I run 2 copies of Vanitas of the Nordic Ascendant. So this card is really good. It also has the effect you can substitute it for any Nordic tuner. And it has the effect that once per turn you can send a Nordic monster from your deck to the graveyard, change this card's level to the level of that monster until the end phase. So it's pretty versatile for your synchro summons. If you have like 2 level 4s, you can send a level 2 tuner and still go into a synchro summon. Same, you can turn into a level 3 or like whatever you need it to do. It's a very versatile card, and I really like having it at 2. Next, I run 3 copies of Alvis of the Nordic Alfar. So this is a really, really good card. If this card is the only card banished by the effect of a Nordic Link monster, which will be Nordic Golvag, I think is what it's called. It's in the extra deck. You can send to the graveyard 1 Nordic you control and 2 Nordics from your deck whose total levels equal to the special summon of 1 Aesir monster from your extra deck. So, level 10 essentially. You can send, so if this card's banished, you can send 1 from your field, which could be like a Vanitas, it could be a Golvag. It kind of just depends, because Golvag's effect lets you special summon up to 3. So if you banish Alvis, you'd special summon 1 from your deck, which you could then use with Alvis's effect with 2 others from your deck for a free synchro summon. It's really powerful, and it has another effect that if an Aesir monster in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, you can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon an Aesir with a different name from your extra deck. So it's a free special summon of an Aesir monster, and the Aesir gods also have the effect of when they're sent to the graveyard at the end phase, you can banish a Nordic tuner and bring them back. So you could summon one with Alvis's effect and then bring back the card that was destroyed with its own effect, and essentially have 2 gods on the field at the end of the turn, which is really powerful. Next, I run 2 copies of Tangnostir. I don't know if I'm saying that right, the Black Goat, and 2 copies of Tangrisnir, the White Goat. These are both good 2-ofs in the deck because they're searchable and they're good for synchro summons. So if you use the Nordic Beast Gullinbursty with a level 4 like Evaldi or Alvis, then you will need another level 3. So I like having these at 2. They're easily searchable in the deck, and yeah, they're just kind of nice for your synchro plays. Next, I run 1 copy of Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascendant. This is nice if you end up going second, which in this deck you prefer to go first, but if you go second with this card in your hand, it's essentially a free synchro summon, because if this card is normal summoned or set while your opponent controls a monster and you have no other cards, you can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand and special summon 2 tokens that are both level 4 in defense position. So 2 level 4 tokens and your level 2 tuner is a free synchro summon, so I like having this card at 1, just because it's a little situational. Next, I run 1 Mimir of the Nordic Ascendant. It's a level 2 non-tuner, and his effect lets you discard a spell card to special summon him from the graveyard. So a nice little revive there. It's good for synchro plays. And yeah, I just run it at 1 because it's not the best card in the world. It's very situational. Next, I run 3 copies of Rescue Cat. This is nice because you get 2 free searches from your deck, which are really nice, again, for synchro plays. And they have to be level 3 or lower, so you're usually just going into your 2 goats for whatever synchro play you happen to be doing. One play that I really like is if you have a Vanitas on the field and you rescue Cat, you bring out the 2 goats. It's a free level 10. So yeah, I really like this card for its searching ability, and you can use the cards you summon for link plays too, which is kind of nice. That's it for the monsters. Now for the spells, I run 3 of the Nordic Relic Hlidskjalf. Sorry, I'm really butchering these names, but they're pretty hard. So this card's really good. It's the best Nordic Relic in the deck. It has the effect that you can special summon a Nordic monster from your deck, but it does lock you into synchro summoning Aesir monsters from the extra deck only, which isn't the best, but the Nordic gods are pretty strong anyway, so it's not the end of the world. And then it has another effect that during a different turn, not the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add a Nordic monster from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle 1 card from your hand into the deck. So it's another free search. This is a really good card, and most of the time you're searching it with Evaldi, so it's easily accessible in the deck. Next, I run 3 copies of Hippo Carnival. This is a really good combo with Golveg, because if you link someone into Golveg and chain Hippo Carnival's activation, you get 3 tokens that you can then banish to special summon 3 Nordics from your deck, which is really powerful because it's essentially just a free synchro summon, which is pretty nice. And since you can go into Golveg so easily in this deck, it's nice to run 3 Hippo Carnivals just to make sure you get into one. Next, I run 1 copy of Ayers Rock Sunrise and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. So Ayers Rock Sunrise is pretty much just a Monster Reborn for beast monsters. So you can go into your Nordic beasts. And yeah, so this is once per turn, but obviously since you only run 1 Monster Reborn, it's nice to have both just in case. So yeah, I like running 1 of each. Next, I run 1 Foolish Burial. This is usually just to send Alvis, unless I have a card I want to bring back with like a Monster Reborn or with Gullenbursty just to add to hand. But since Alvis has a nice graveyard effect, I do like sending it with Foolish Burial. And then I run 1 Instant Fusion. I play 1 Muddragon of the Swamp in this deck, just as a nice card to sort of help with your synchro plays. So yeah, I just have the 1 Instant Fusion to bring back, or to bring out the Muddragon, I guess. It's situational, but if you can bring it out, it kind of helps just in case you're stuck without 3 materials for a synchro summon. That's it for spell cards. For traps, I run 3 Gleipnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. So this is essentially just a search. It's add a Nordic monster from deck to hand, and it's not once per turn. So if you have 2 on the field, you can activate them both, which is really nice searcher. Usually you'll add like a Gullenbursty or an Evaldi or a Vanitas sometimes too. It's a very versatile card. Next, I run 2 copies of Nordic Relic Svalin. So this card is really good. If you control an Aesir monster, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn, which is obviously pretty powerful. I don't need to explain that. And then it also has the effect that you contribute a Nordic monster and target an Aesir in your graveyard and special summon it. So let's say like if I had Odin, for example, get destroyed, and I didn't have a Nordic Ascendant Tuner in my graveyard to banish, I could tribute 1 Nordic monster from my field and bring him back for pretty much that cost alone. So this is a really powerful card. It helps you sort of revive your Nordics. It's a really good card in combo with Alvis. So if you have like a Nordic Aesir monster get destroyed, you can banish Alvis, special summon a different one, and then use Fallen to bring back the one that was destroyed. And that's a pretty powerful combo there. Next, I run 1 Nordic Relic Levatine. I don't really know how to say this one. But you can target a face-up monster on the field, destroy a monster by battle this turn, and destroy it. And cards and effects can be activated in response to this card. So it doesn't require you to even have a Nordic on the field. If your opponent just swings over one of your monsters, you can destroy that monster. It does target, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's still a pretty powerful card regardless. I run 1 copy of Red Rain. This is a really good card. You can target a level 8 or higher synchro monster, which all of your Aesir monsters are level 10, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you banish all monsters on the field except the monster with the highest level, which again will usually be your level 10, so it's essentially a board wipe. You don't really use its second effect because you don't play any dark dragons in this deck, so but it's essentially in this deck as a board wipe. And then for hand traps, I run 3 copies of Imperm and 1 Called By. I just like having the negate with Imperms, and Called By is important because Ash Blossom can really shut down this deck, so it's kind of nice just to have that little protection. That's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, I run 3 copies of Golveg of the Nordic Ascendant. So this is a really good card. All it takes is a 1 level 5 or lower Nordic monster to link summon. You summon it out, and then you banish 3 cards from your hand or field, and special summon Nordic monsters from your deck in defense position up to the number of cards banished. So it's pretty much a free synchro summon. And then while this card points to a Nordic monster or an Aesir monster, you can't target Golvig for attacks, and you can't target your Aesir monster with card effects. So it's just a little bit of protection there. It's a really easy card to go into, and it sets up your synchro plays pretty well. Next, I run 2 copies of Odin, Father of the Aesir, 2 copies of Thor, Lord of the Aesir, and 1 copy of Loki, Lord of the Aesir. So these are like the go-to synchro monsters. They're pretty powerful. Odin has the effect that once per turn, you can make this card unaffected by spell and trap effects till the end of the turn. Thor lets you once per turn negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, and Loki stops the effects of spells and traps during the battle phase. They all have pretty high attack points too, 33 for Loki, 35 for Thor, and 4,000 for Odin. And then, like I said, they all have the effect that if they're sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, by battle or card effect, at the end phase you can banish one of their tuners and bring them back. So Odin uses Nordic Ascendant tuners, Thor uses Nordic Beasts, and Loki uses Nordic Alfar tuners. So you can bring them back, and since Gullenbursty and Vanadis can act as pretty much any tuner, you can bring out any of these cards at any time. So it's pretty powerful. Those are sort of like the ace monsters of the deck. They're the ones you go into the most, especially since the Nordic Relic locks you into Aesir monsters. I run 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp, just again to sort of help with your synchro plays a little bit. And then I run the Trains. So I really like having these just to set up your OTK. You can overlay 2 of your Aesir monsters into Super Dora and then go into a Juggernaut Leeb. And Juggernaut Leeb gets an attack boost by detaching a material, and he can attack equals the number of materials it has. So it can really set up your OTK plays. That's what this is here for. This isn't really a card you go into all the time, but it can be very good in situations. Next, I run 1 Black Rose Dragon just as a board wipe in case things get dicey. I run 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. This is just kind of a substitute for any generic level 8 synchro, but I really like this one because it can negate monster effects, which is really nice. I don't know, I just really like having the extra negate just in case, since the only hand traps we really run are called by... Since the only hand traps we really run are called by the Grave and Infinite Impermanence, I just like having the extra negate. Next, I run 1 Trishula and 1 Ascension Sky Dragon. Ascension Sky Dragon's nice, just as sort of a temporary card. It gains attack points equal to the number of cards in your hand, 800 for each card in your hand. And when he's destroyed, you can bring back the materials used for its synchro summon. So it's very situational, but you can essentially use it, and then when it gets destroyed, bring back your materials and go into a synchro summon of any other card, which I really like. And then Trishula is nice. You can just... banish cards your opponent controls, in their hand field and graveyard. So it's pretty nice just, again, for a little more board control. You don't really go into the other synchros too much. Most of the time you're just going into your Aesir cards, but it's nice to have these cards just in case. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Nordics, I think, are a really fun deck. They're pretty good to combo with, and the new support they got in Battle of Chaos is really nice. So I would recommend playing this deck if you want to. It's pretty cheap, all things considered. Most of the cards were reprinted in the hero decks, I think they're called. And the stuff that didn't is pretty cheap anyway. So yeah, that's it for this deck profile. Let me know if you guys want me to do like a combo video or test hands with this deck. And comment below any other deck profiles you guys might want to see. Remember to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.